Hello, and welcome back to the Ask the Color Expert podcast. Today's episode is just me, a solo episode. I really wanted to jump on here and share a recent experience that I had with my own hair color. So, if you have listened to the podcast for a long time, you know I love to bring special guests in to share their expertise, whether it even has anything to do with hair color. I've had life coaches, I've had empowerment experts, marketing experts, but it's called the Ask the Color Expert podcast. So we really need to start talking about some hair color. So this week, I had my own hair touched up. I have had a sudden increase in my percentage of gray. Let's just say that. So I was always able to get away with retouching my regrowth every 5, 6 weeks. I would kind of look up and say, oh, whoa, I really need to do something to that gray. But it was an afterthought. It wasn't staring at me in the face immediately the way that it did for a lot of my clients. So I have to say that I can relate much better to those panicked clients that used to torture me to get squeezed in when they had a special event coming up. I am now that client. I have moved to Florida. If you follow me, you know I made a big career change and a big change of location. And, I've been searching for the perfect colorist. I'm really thrilled. I'm happy. I finally have someone doing an amazing job on my color. So I sat in his chair and he retouched my gray and we chatted. And I said, I just want like a fun money piece in the front, like a super funky, chunky piece in the front for something different. And he was like, I don't know. I kind of feel like you're blonde enough. And we went back and forth. So he did 2 skinny foils in the front. And when we finished, what happened was he retouched the root area, the new hair, but some of that hair that got into the weave was my former color, which was a low light. So because he didn't go all the way through, it looked like a blonde hot root, if that makes sense. It was lighter and brighter at the regrowth. And then the ends got a little more toned and dull from former glazes and low lights. So I was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I don't have anything coming up. Like just put, we had him put just a 9 in cream demi just to calm down the brightness of the regrowth. So for the next day or two after that, I just kept catching myself in different reflections in store, windows or in mirrors. And I was like, it's just not exactly what I was looking for. So enter the bathroom balayage. That's what I've been guilty of as being a professional colorist. It's hard for me as a control freak not to get my hands in there and tweak things that I see that I want to be a little bit different. So why am I sharing this with you? Number one, less is more. My hair is fine. So when he did the foils in the front of my hair, he was surprised at what a big piece it turned out to be when he took such a little amount of hair. So understanding that the density of the client's hair makes a huge difference. The piece that you take on someone with coarse, wavy, dense hair and the piece that you take on someone like myself with finer hair can be a much more impactful piece. And sometimes the client isn't ready for that level of impact. So I went in and I took my tail comb and I tried to seek out those pieces that the color just had to be brought down further onto the piece. So I popped in 3 foils and then I literally went into my backyard and I have a swimming pool and I was completely naked. Like I was naked in the bathroom doing these foils. And I'm like, I don't want to sit in the bathroom for 25 minutes and let this foil process. I want to be outside. It's beautiful out and I have a very private yard. So here's naked me walking outside with these 3 foils in my hair. I get in the pool and my husband comes walking into my office and you can see my pool from the office and he looks outside and sees me naked as the day I was born in my pool with these foils in my hair. And he is dying laughing. He's like, what in the world are you doing? And I was like, I don't like to use heat on my foils. It's a beautiful day. I know I'm going to need a little bit of heat to process these because I don't want the bleach to be on too long because there's prior color on there. So that's what I did. I sat in my pool naked and processed, and then I jumped in the shower. And I have to say, I have so much pep in my step. I feel so good. I went to a networking event this morning that was a coffee event with girl bosses in St. Pete. It's all entrepreneurial women. And it was the first time that I was going to be meeting a lot of these women. And I felt so much more like myself and so much more confident just having those extra 3 pieces to brighten up the front of my hair. I can't even explain the difference that it made. So I'm sharing this and I'm making this podcast because a lot of times we roll our eyes and we're annoyed with that woman that's like, can you just do 2 more pieces like right here? And we're so agitated and annoyed by that because we don't see that our clients the way they see themselves. So I needed this little perk up. I have an event coming up next week. I'm traveling for business. I'm going to be meeting a lot of entrepreneurs that I've never met before. And again, just those 2, 3 foils made such a difference for me. So try offering that to your clients as something new and special. If you have a single process client that has never gotten foils, offer that story to them. Say, I listened to this podcast and this color mentor mentioned just throwing in, 3 foils to make the front of your hair pop and make you feel perked up and alive. And I would love to offer that to you today at no charge, just to introduce you to it. And I guarantee you that client's going to ask for 5, then 6, then 8, then she's going to turn into a dimensional client, every other visit when she comes for her retouch. So these are just a few of the simple things that I offer in my hair color membership, the Hair Color Secrets Insider. And 2 times a year, I offer a free boot camp. It's 3 sessions. This boot camp starts on May 5th. It's a 3-part series. It's live. It's done in a private Facebook group that you will sign up for. And you just show up in the Facebook group and I just provide, 3 entire classes on all things hair color. The first session is going to be the mystery of resistant gray, which I do not believe that there is a such thing as resistant gray. And call me a rebel, but I've never met a gray hair I could not cover. So that alone is worth coming. It's totally, completely free. The sessions are all, like I said, going to be done totally live in the Facebook group. If you know that your life is busy and you're not going to be able to make it live, I strongly urge you to purchase the replays. The replay will be packaged neatly in one spot where you'll get an email. You'll be able to access those videos forever. So I promise you, there's going to be things that you're going to want to go back to. So I highly encourage you to purchase the replays. If you're able to show up for all 3 live, even better. Don't worry about purchasing the replays, but to miss one thing is to miss everything, because everything is foundational and builds upon the last thing. So the first session is tips on gray coverage. The second session is the elusive 7N that we all fall back on. It is the most commonly used color. People freak out when they run out of 6 and 7N, especially 7N. It's kind of the teetering between blonde and brown is level 7. Once you get to 7, you've kind of committed more to the blonde side, where 6 is still in that brown family, but a lighter form of brown. So that is session 2. And then session 3 is about exactly what I talked about on this episode, that the difference between dimension and single process can change your entire business and create a 6-figure income for you. I promise you, when you start to dimensionalize your clients and when you start to introduce that to them and let them know that you've been thinking about them. Something that I often did was, if I had a redhead client come in, as soon as she walked in for her 3rd visit with me, which she's been coming to me, she came twice. She loves what I did to her base. On the 3rd visit, I'm like, hey, Jen, I was thinking about you this morning and I love a dimensional redhead. It just makes it more spicy, more sparkly. How do you feel about a couple strategically placed foils where you're still going to be red all over, but it's going to be like a lighter version of red in just a few spots, just to draw attention to those gorgeous blue eyes of yours. Pick out something that you think is really beautiful about the client, and you're going to earn their trust when you make these suggestions. So just something to think about, dimensionalizing. So part 3 of the free workshop is creating retention through dimension. And I love that. I love that it rhymes a little bit, but it's so important to create that client that is loving the dimension, because she's not going to do bathroom balayage. She's not going to add a little spice to what you did to her regrowth. She's not a hairstylist. So by you making those suggestions first and making your signature look be her on her hair is a billboard for you. When she goes to Starbucks and you dimensionalized her red, she's going to have someone ask her, where did you get your color done? If she's roots to tips, totally one color and it's shiny and pretty, people will think it's her natural color. They won't think anything of it. But when you dimensionalize a redhead or a brunette in the way that we do with blondes, it can really set your business on fire. You'll have a wait list and a lot of demand and be known as the expert in your area for dimensional work. So please sign up for the workshop. It is completely free. It's fun. I bring a lot of value and a lot of fun to all the workshops that I do. And it's really an invitation and an exposure into my hair color coaching and what I do every single day to help hairstylists become more confident colorists and even venture to become color experts and specialize in color. It's not for everyone, but it is an amazing, beautiful option that I was so happy that I did for the last 17 years of my 35-year career. So I hope to see you all in boot camp. You can simply head to my website, www.expertcolorsolutions.com, and you will see a link to join the free 3-day hair color confidence bootcamp. I really hope to see you there. And thanks for listening. I will see you on the next one.